Man, I didn't want to make this video, but especially in this tone, but here we are again. Welcome back to the Bal MCFC channel. It's been a long time since I only dropped one video on this channel, and I've done like two Club World Cup watch alongs. I wanted to do more before the season started, or like as the season started. However, I was out of the country on holiday and stuff like that, and I just came back right before the Wolves game. And then I was gonna make a video, but then I was like, I need to wait for the Spurs game, man. And what the bummer that was! I have no script to go off of. I don't know the idea of this video. It's just talking about the Spurs game mostly, because there's hardly anything to say about the Wolves game. Now, the Wolves game I don't think it was a perfect performance. It was a performance that that got the fans excited, especially it was our first game of the season. We away from home at Molineux. Uh, we scored 4 goals. We didn't concede anything, and we always struggle away at Molineux. I remember like Wang Yichan scored a winner there recently, and then I remember like PTSD from Adama Traore cooking us when he was at Wolves. But yeah, it seems like Wolves is not a great team this season. And I guess we aren't a great team yet either, with the way that Spurs home game went. Now, I was always skeptical about the Spurs game because Spurs, man, the worst Spurs team last year. It was the worst Spurs team ever. And they beat us 4-0 at the Etihad. I'm like, come on, like, I hate this fixture, man. It's the worst fixture of the year for me. So I wasn't overly confident. However, I was like steadily like, oh, we might perform well. So when the team news came out before the game, I went on Twitter and I said that was a bad idea. Don't engage with these Twitter folk, by the way, especially football fans. They just rage bait, or they say this and that just for the money and stuff. Like now that Twitter pays. And I see people being happy with the lineup because obviously they fan favorite Shirky starting. I wasn't overly angry at the lineup. In hindsight now, that's probably a error. I would have made the same Mamouche for Doku change. I don't know about the Shirky change. However, I can see why he didn't. I mean, like, we want these players to play though. Like, people always calling him, why you playing Bernardo, why you playing this guy, but he gave it to you guys. I also think it's a little bit of like training. I think like Cherky must have impressed Pep in the training, so he decided like, why not trust him. It's at home, you're gonna get a great welcome of the fans and all sorts. And then we started Trafford at the back over Edison. Now, I'm not one of these folk that will be overly hating on Trafford for his error, or saying that he get Donnarumma immediately, or saying this and that. Trafford's trash. I'm not gonna say any of that because there's a good reason, I think, for why Pep went for Trafford. Obviously, Trafford made that error. He's obviously young. I don't blame that really on Pep. Edison made the same errors in the past, like plenty of them. And I was angry at every time. And even though like your knee-jerk reaction was saying, get the goalie out of there, what is he doing? I think he's just gonna learn. And I think they like trying to force hatred at Trafford. It's not that deep, man. It's just football, you know. People make mistakes. I don't think it's like Pep forced him to play it short like that. Forced him to play Nico Gonzalez. Not telling him not to move the ball. I don't think it's none of that. I don't think any of that. Because even if he like didn't pass to Nico Gonzalez, there's like plenty of other passes he could have done, like to the right, to the left, or just recycle the ball. Like, there's plenty of stuff he can do. Like, he chose to make the mistake. It's a mistake. He was nervous, and after the mistake, he played horrendously, by the way. He made a couple of saves towards the end of the game, but he was running out of the box, doing all sorts of weird stuff after that. But it's okay. He's young. He was probably nervous his first home game. I agree with the getting Donnarumma part. Like, I think we should get Donnarumma. I think he's a world class keeper. And Edison, I don't want someone like I'm very much on the same page with Pep here in the situation that if players want to leave, let them leave. I don't want players here at my club that doesn't want to be at my club. I'll forever be Man City over any player. I don't care who they are. Can be Lionel Messi, can be Cristiano Ronaldo. I'll be Man City forever. I'm here when they gone. When they retire, I'm still gonna be here. I think we have some issues in the defense. The way we set up. Thomas Frank went very man to man. They fast on the break and everything like that. I don't think Stones and Diaz is the fastest centre back partnership we have. Now that being said, people are calling for Kusanov to start. I am in the agreement, but we don't know what form of Kusanov we're gonna get. Like obviously he's been great in the past. However, I would like to see it at least. Like we have some tough fixtures now. I need to see it at Brighton. I need to see Kusanov at Brighton. Cavadiol is still not fit. Like I don't mind playing Stones with Kusanov or like Ruben Diaz and Kusanov, but I don't think Diaz and Stones work as a partnership. And in fullbacks wise, oh yeah, I'm not gonna hate Stones on that mistake. I think it's a slip. It's bad. 1-0, we were still in the game. The goalie mistake ruined the game. Fullbacks, unfortunately, Ainori got injured. That is so sad on his home debut, man. I don't think the Ake sub worked at all. Ake didn't do anything in the attacking sense. There was a part in the second half, first half, second half, I don't know, where the ball was cut back, and then I was excited, but then I realized the player attacking the ball was Ake, and obviously it went nowhere. I think that's more dangerous if it's Ainori there. Guardiola is still out injured. Hopefully he can return soon because he needs to play. He's our best centre back I think we have at the club right now. Rico Lewis had an absolute stinker. Now I'm not the biggest Rico Lewis fan. I think our options on the right hand side is actually piss poor, by the way. Nunes and Rico Lewis. I don't think they are the level of Manchester City, but that's just my opinion. Rico Lewis can work against teams that are not so physical and don't play man to man like Spurs did. They on him the whole throughout the game. Pause. I think Nunes should have started realistically. That's the defense. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is, but it is not great. The defense, midfield is a issue. We need Rodri back. I don't think Nico Gonzalez has been bad these past. In fact, I actually think he's been above average in these last two games. I don't think Spurs was his fault necessarily. I think Reinders more so was worse than Nico Gonzalez against Spurs. Reinders was absolutely atrocious, and that's praising him from the first game. First game he was world class. However, he was not ready for the intensity of the game. He made simple passing errors. There was one moment where he got a ball and he could have just run and shoot free on goal, and then he decided to do a dink pass over to Cherky, and it was horrible. I think he had a stinker of a game actually, but I don't think we should drop him or anything. Cherky didn't have a bad game as people said he did, but the people are gonna hate because of the words and all that kind of stuff. I don't think he had a bad game. However, I think once he dropped too deep, because he wanted to get on the ball so badly, he dropped deep, and that's never a good sign of an attacking player. I know this because like even players like De Bruyne had done it plenty of times. They drop deep, but when he was going forward, there was some interesting attacks. There was some creativity. He should have had assist. Haaland missed that header. But to be fair, Haaland's not great at headering for some reason. There was some through balls, some nice play. I don't think it was the worst performance ever. I think he will be very good for us in the future. I think Bob was our best winger. That doesn't say much of the three wingers that played. He was really ineffective against Spence. Spence done well. However, I don't think we're gonna get super like solid performances every week from Bob. Bob is also still young. He had a year that ripped out of his footballing career, and I think he's going to do well. I think he needs time, a little bit more time. Just get the games, just get the games, just get the games, just get the games going, and then he'll be world class. Yeah. On the other side, on the left hand side, it was very frustrating for me. Especially I called for Mamouche to start this game, and I'm not a Mamouche hater. There's simple stuff of his game that I really like, and there's some stuff of the game I don't think is great for him. Like his touch, or like, yeah, his passing, his touch is not great at all. Like there was one moment where Turkey played the ball on top, and this might be like Riyad Mahrez PTSD. Like Mahrez will take that any day, land it softly on his feet, and it'll be perfect. Mamouche couldn't, man, and I get it. And then the Haaland moment happens where Haaland turns into Messi all of a sudden and starts dribbling through the team, and makes a perfect through ball for Mamouche. And all he has to do is lob. Instead, he chose to smash it, and it goes straight against the keeper. And man, that changes the game right there. That ball goes in, we took a different game. We might have grown in confidence. Everything will be different. However, it didn't. And then he had another shot. Goalie saved. I don't think Mamouche was any better than Doku. When Doku came on, I don't think he was really that great. He had one good moment where he beat his man, cut back to Foden. Great defending from Spurs. However, I don't think Doku was that great. I mean, he ran the ball out more times than he beat his man. Yeah, so Haaland is the last guy I'm speaking to, the striker. I think he was straight up as at first. His first touch was bouncing off of him, like the ball was bouncing off of him. It was all mud and not great. But he did have that one dribble moment, which was good, which should have been his assist, or which would change the game. And then he had a few headers which he should have scored with, which like he should be like, if I'm not seeing him on the training pictures coming out like him headering, then like I don't know what to expect, because like if he's so bad at headering, just don't cross the ball to him. Don't cross. Play through ball. We need more through balls through the through the middle. But we know that really happens. The positives though, Rodri came on, is looking decent. Foden came on and looked decent, but we don't know where these two are in terms of their fitness. I think after the international break they will start regularly. I don't think they're gonna start the Brighton game. I think he's gonna go back to Bernardo, Nico Gonzalez, and Reinders. I think I might be absolutely wrong, but I think Cherky saw something the same. But it's been a really depressing weekend for me watching that game. I was so excited to see this new look City, and there's some of the same old issues. I don't think Pep is overly to blame here. I think it's still early. I think we still can get going. These guys don't know each other that well. Reinders don't know the team that well. Like they've been here a few weeks. So let's get behind the squad for the Brighton game. Like we have some tough fixtures after that Arsenal fixture. We should have easier fixtures, we should be more happy and positive. But I think we're only going to get better. I think that was the worst I've seen us look for quite some time, because like they couldn't pass the ball. But yeah, hopefully that covers it. I'll hopefully be more on this channel as things happen. It's the last week of the transfer window, so if any news occurs on Donnarumma or Rodrigo, I'll be making a video. So drop a like, subscribe for more of these kind of videos. Once the midweek games come out though, I will be on the live watch alongs. I struggle to do the the weekend games, and that's just because like scheduling and stuff happening. It's a bit tricky to get time to stream through that. So yeah, I will be your live watch alongs when midweek games happen. But that's all that I have. I'm not the super tactician. I'm not gonna be telling you to do this formation to them, but I will give you my feelings, my stuff. Like, I think there's stuff we can improve on 100%, but I think it's gonna take time for us to see what this new city is all about, and I can't actually wait to see it. That's the positive. Like, we at the low now, but like once you hit the rock bottom, and the only way is up. And I don't doubt the greatest manager of all time, Pep Guardiola. So, peace.